Hey Sandra, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I told my mom the dates that we figured out for our wedding. And I showed her some of the pictures that we took when we went out to check out the venue.
Oh, okay, good to know. What did your mom think? Did she have anything to say?
Oh, you know how she is always. She just said that's nice and continued about her business.
I see. So basically we got nothing from that. Are you sure your mom approves of us getting married?
Sure she does. I mean, I know that if you think about it, I am pretty sure my mom is okay with this. Or at the very least, even if she isn't thrilled about it, I don't think that she's against it or anything, especially since before she was always bugging me about when I'd get married. So I don't actually think she'd complain to me now that I actually am.
Guess so, but I certainly get the impression that I'm not the kind of person she imagined marrying you.
I know that you think that, but what is it that you think my mom doesn't like about you?
I think it's because my family came from the country, and I guess your mom might think that I'm a hick or something like that.
I mean, you could be right about that, but I don't see anything wrong with that, and I actually really like your family. Both of your parents have been so nice and welcoming to me, and I'm really grateful for it. The only one to be complaining about any of this at all is my mom.
Oh, well, I really am glad that you like my parents that much. I know that both my parents are big fans of you as well. And I think that my family has plenty to offer and can't just be written off for where they come from. But I just wish that there was a good way to make your mom see all of this.
Well, I can try talking to her and really explaining just how good your family really is. But just know that no matter what she says, I'm still marrying you.
And that makes me really happy to have you say that, but I still wish that your mom wouldn't act like this. I mean, I'm about to marry her son, and it feels like she doesn't want me to.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think we need to give my mom time to get to know you better. Then she'll see how good you are for me and what a good couple we are. I know that she'll come around, so just be patient and focus on the wedding for now. You know, I still feel so lucky to have you in my life, Sandra. I mean, I really can't think of anyone else who I'd like to spend my life with. Not only that, but you really are just so beautiful. I could just spend all day staring into your big, gorgeous eyes.
What is all this about? Do you really like looking at me that much, Anthony?
Of course I do. I love you, and I really like your family as well. I've enjoyed the times that we've spent to visit with your parents. They are always eating the freshest foods straight from their garden and even send us home with some stuff. I mean, what could there even be to dislike about that? Especially when the quality of the food that they're giving us is the kind that we'd have to shell out extra for in a normal grocery store.
I have to say that I was pretty surprised by just how much you seemed to like being out there. But only in a good way. I was just happy that you weren't judging my family at all. After all, your mom isn't the only person to look down on me for where my family is from.
Well, I don't think that way in the slightest, but it is true that I don't have a single relative that lives the way that your parents do. So maybe that's why ever since I was little, I've dreamed about living on a big farm or ranch, just to be able to escape the hustle and bustle and noise of the city. When you come home, sound is so nice. But my mom is just the opposite. I think that back in her day, kids from the farm were bullied and looked down on more than our generation.
Well, you know that it's not all beautiful sunsets and fresh produce, right? I mean, out there, there's also lots of bugs and pests, and there's hardly anything to do in town, too.
I know, but it's not like you're bringing any of those negatives from the countryside with you when you visit my mom. But also, your brother is taking over the family farm anyways, right? Not only that, but your parents also said that when they retired, they were going to settle into a retirement home. Isn't that right?
That's what they said. They have a decent amount saved up over the years and said they didn't want to be a burden on us kids.
And I've tried explaining all that to my mom as well, but no matter how many times I try to tell her, she just doesn't seem to get it.
Well, I don't think that your mom's dislike for the country comes from any real logic or good reason. I think maybe she was just raised a different way and hasn't gotten over her biases.
I guess, but I think that we should let her get away with that just because she's older. But also at this point, I just hope that she won't make any trouble for us in the future. Especially considering that my mom is basically only going to have her pension to live off. So when she finally settles down, I think that the duty of taking care of her is going to fall on me. I mean, of course I have my sister as well, but as the eldest child, I think it'll mostly be my job.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense. But that would mean that I would also be taking care of her, right?
I mean, I certainly wouldn't hope that you would leave me to do it all by myself, but yes, I think that's the situation.
Of course not. I'd love to help out in any way that I can. I just hope that your mom and I can become closer before that happens.
Well, thanks again so much for talking to me about this. I'll think of what I can try to say to Mom, but I just don't know what to do these days.
I understand, but the most important thing for me right now is trying to become closer to her. I mean, I know that we'll all have a long time to do so since you and I are getting married, but still.
I know what you mean, and I really am sorry that this is even an issue in the first place, but I just hope that Mom actually liked the venue I showed her. I told her about how the catering company we were looking at had some of her favorite dishes, but she just gave me the same stoic response.
Yeah, that woman really is inscrutable, but hopefully with time we can see more eye to eye.
Hey there, Sandra. I just wanted to let you know that I tried talking to my mom.
Oh no, it doesn't sound like you're about to tell me very good news.
Well, it's actually about the day of the wedding. My mom wants me to go and pick up my grandparents and bring them here.
Wait, what? I thought you said that your sister was going to be doing that, right?
Yeah, I mean, she was supposed to, but I guess that her car broke down the other day, and it won't be repaired in time before the wedding.
Oh no, that really sucks. Tell her that I'm sorry that happened, but I still don't get why you would have to go. I mean, it's literally your wedding day, and it's probably best if we just stick close to the venue, don't you think? Besides, will you even have the time to be able to go and get them?
Well, my mom was saying that the groom really doesn't have all that much of a role in the wedding until the very end, so I guess she really wants me to go and get my grandparents.
I can understand that, but it doesn't mean that there aren't things that you need to do to get ready for when I walk down the aisle. And what happens if you get caught in traffic while you're out? What would we do then?
I've been thinking about that as well, but my mom really insistent about this. She really said that she wanted me to spend more time with my grandparents and that I should be trying to make good final memories with them.
I mean, it's not that I don't respect the sentiment or anything, but shouldn't there be other memories that you try and make on the day of your wedding?
Sandra, you and I are absolutely on the same side with all of this, but I just couldn't turn down my mom. She just kept asking me over and over again.
I see. Well, I guess it sounds like you're going to pick up your grandparents then.
I really did try and tell my mom that it wouldn't work. I told her that I'd be too busy to do that, and then my mom told me that I was being ungrateful for all the good things that my grandparents did for me. She kept getting more angry and upset with me, and she kept making me feel bad about not doing it, that eventually I just folded.
Oh wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, Anthony. I hope she wasn't too upset with you.
I mean, it had been a while since I saw her get worked up like that, I think. But man, it was more annoying than anything. It's that she refuses to accept that I'm an adult with my own life and responsibilities now. But I didn't want to tell her now and have her in a sour mood on the day of our wedding either. So anyways, I'm just sorry about all of this.
You don't have anything to apologize for. I mean, none of this is your fault anyways. And besides, you're right about it being a good idea to try and make sure your mom is happy the day of our wedding.
I just want the wedding to go smoothly and as little drama as possible. It's too important a day to let these petty gripes ruin it. But I just don't get it. I mean, I'm still living at home with her. So why are we going to the wedding separately in the first place? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I'm sure that your mom has her reasons, and it's not like you don't have two cars, so I guess it doesn't not make sense. But just please try and be quick about getting your grandparents and coming back, okay?
Of course, I would really hate for anything to delay you and I getting married. I promise that I'll do my best to not be late, okay?
And tell your parents that I'm sorry for all the rushing that they'll probably be doing on that day as well.
Well, I think that it's my mom who owes them an apology for deciding all of this, but I'm sure that it'll be fine.
I'm just glad that you guys have two cars to be dealing with all of this. I guess that means that you'll take the big car and I'll take the smaller one with your mom?
Sounds good, but I really am sorry for all this. I'm pretty upset at my mom for putting this in my lap at the last second. Our wedding should be a day where we only think of each other.
I know, but I'm sure that your mom has her reasons for this as well. And at the end of the day, it sounds like she's trying to bring the family closer together, so I can't fault that.
You really are too kind. Do you know that, Sandra? You don't deserve to have your wedding day messed up like this either. But man, my mom can get a bit scary when she gets angry about stuff like this.
It's okay. I think I've gotten used to the idea of her acting like this for now. Hello there, Anthony. I don't know if you've heard, but your wedding is cancelled.
Mom, what are you talking about? What do you mean my wedding is canceled?
I know that Sandra isn't going to be showing up to the wedding. You see, she was in a car accident and now she can't even move. So I'm afraid that you two will just have to cancel your wedding, but how about we go out for a family lunch instead?
Hold on a second. Just what do you think you're doing, messaging me on a day like this? Who do you think you are?
Who do you think I am? I think that I'm your mother, so how about that?
Oh, really? Because I don't think of you as a mother at all. So how about that?
What in the world are you talking about, Anthony? What has gotten into you?
I mean, that I know that you messed with the car that Sandra was going to take. And anyone who would do that to my wife is no family member of mine.
I have no idea what you're talking about at all.
Oh, come on. I know that you sabotaged the car that Sandra took. She even told me that. You said you'd just take a taxi to the venue at the last second. And now you pretend like nothing has happened? You just want to go out for a family lunch? Are you that opposed to me getting married?
Anthony, I'm sorry, but I really have no idea what's gotten into you or why you're so upset right now.
Oh, just give it a rest, Mom. I know that it was you that did it. Just be honest with me.
I am being honest with you, and I am telling you that I have no idea what you're talking about. Why should I be against you marrying Sandra? Oh, wait, that's right. It's because I know what's best for you, and I can tell you that it certainly isn't her.
Aha. So you do admit that you really are against us getting married, but you really don't know what you're talking about, because I'm the one that doesn't deserve Sandra. And the only person in our whole family who has a problem with her is you. But even so, I didn't think that you'd go so far as to try to sabotage a car that Sandra would drive on the street. You caused this accident.
Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. How can you accuse me of causing the accident? I wasn't the one behind the wheel. Do you have any proof of what you're saying? Hello there. I bet you weren't expecting to hear from me, Sandra. And yes, if you must know, I have plenty of evidence. I even have someone that you confessed thinking of this plan to. Wait, Sandra? How can this be? What's going on? You made it to the wedding? I had to call a taxi, but yes, I made it to my own wedding despite your best attempts to stop me. As for you, well, I think you can probably already imagine the kind of car trouble I was having before it stopped moving. But you do realize that you've committed a crime, right? Neither of you know what you're talking about at all. It wasn't like that. I didn't do anything. Look, I get that you really don't like me, but you didn't have to take things this far. Shut up! You don't get to tell me what to do! You think that a country hick like you can just waltz into my family? And just what about where I come from upsets you so much? How does my coming from the country even affect you? It affects me because I know that you joining my family means that your lousy hick parents are going to try and steal everything. You are literally the only person saying any of these things about my parents. I mean, even Anthony's grandparents say that they really like me and don't care at all about my background. Well, I don't care. I don't want a lousy daughter-in-law like you, got it? Besides, I know for a fact that my daughter hates you. No, you're not right about that either. Anthony's sister is actually completely supportive. Well, that can't be right. She talks bad about you all the time. She says that she can't stand the idea of you becoming her sister-in-law. Oh, she may have thought that, but that was only because you were giving her faulty information. But Anthony and I have made sure to clear up any misunderstandings you might have been causing. It was your sister, wasn't it? She was the one who told you about what I did to the car, didn't she?
That's right. Actually, she arrived about the same time that Sandra did to the wedding venue. She showed her some of the texts that you've been sending, talking about all your plans.
I don't believe it. Betrayed by my own child. I really thought that I could trust her with that.
Come on, did you really think that anyone would be okay with a plan like this? If you actually thought that anyone would back up this horrible behavior that you've been exhibiting, then that's on you. In fact, you complain so much about Sandra, but the fact is, you've never given her a fair chance.
No, you You don't know what you're talking about. Can't you see that she's just fooling you? She doesn't have your best interests at heart. You don't know anything at all. I am your mother, and I know best.
No, Mom. You're the one who's completely clueless about everything, and you certainly don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Sandra. All you do is focus on the fact that her family lives out in the country. But if anyone should be embarrassed about their families, then I'm the one that should be embarrassed to be related to you.
Anthony, how could you say that to your own mother? What is the matter with you?
I'm only telling you how I really feel. I mean, what if Sandra had seriously been injured? Thankfully, there wasn't any real accident. Sandra realized her car wasn't performing well, put on her hazards, and pulled over right away. But if she hadn't thought on her feet so quickly, she could have ended up hurt or dead. Is that what you wanted to happen to the woman I want to marry?
Of course not. That's not what I wanted to happen at all. I didn't know what might happen.
But that's just another lie. I've already seen the text, and you said that you don't care at all what happens to Sandra. You're nothing but a liar and a criminal, Mom.
But Sandra's safe, isn't she? I don't see what the big deal is if nothing actually happened to her.
If you think that you're going to get away with that just because Sandra wasn't hurt, you're dead wrong. I am never ever going to forgive you for this. Do you understand?
Please, son, I really don't think there's any need to be so upset with me. I mean, you just got married. A newlywed husband shouldn't have anything to be mad about. Oh, can't we just forgive each other in the spirit of the day?
Oh, I don't think you need to worry about our wedding day anymore. After all, you won't be participating. Even though you would have been here as my mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law? Wait a second, is this Sandra?
That's right. Now about that little trap you tried to set for me. Well, I just have to say, I was shocked when I pieced it all together.
What do you mean? Oh, what's going on? What did you mean about me not participating in the wedding?
We talked to all the guests at the wedding here, and we agreed that it's best if you don't come. Even Anthony's grandparents agreed on that, so we're not going to let you show up, even if you do come. We've even told the staff to turn you away if you try and get in.
What are you talking about? You can't do this to me. You can't just keep me out of my own son's wedding.
Why? You never even wanted this wedding to take place in the first place, so why should we let you participate?
Oh, come on. You can't keep me away from this. This is my own son's wedding. You can't ban me from that.
Do you think that we're going to let you into a wedding where you tried to kill the bride? In fact, you should know that Anthony is never going to talk to you again. He has nothing but shame as far as you're concerned.
But, oh, this isn't fair. I was only trying to protect my family. I did it all for my family. How did it all come to this?
If you really can't understand why your own family wouldn't want anything to do with you after this, then maybe you really are too far gone. Because you need to understand that you tore your own family apart. I've done nothing but try to befriend you, and you literally tried to kill me. So I am really not in the mood to hear any of your victimization coming from you after this. Neither Anthony nor I are ever going to forgive you.
You can't do this to me. You're not just going to leave me like this, right? Oh, please. My family is all that I have left. Who's going to take care of me now? Hello? Are you even reading these messages? Hello? After that, Anthony's mom didn't even bother trying to come to our wedding, and thanks to her absence, we were all able to have a much, much better wedding than had she been there. If only we had thought to ban her from the wedding in the first place. Of course, Anthony was really upset about what his mother had tried to do to me, and I know it hurt him to realize the kind of person she was. A few days later, we got messages from relatives of Anthony, all bearing words of encouragement and criticism for his mom. Many said they were going to keep their distance from Anthony's mother or cut her off entirely like we had done. Either way, she was left with very few relatives who were even willing to talk to her. Of course, I don't imagine that she's reflected on why what she did was wrong, but she certainly suffered for what she tried to do to me, and I do my best to not even think about her anymore. Anthony and I have been far too busy enjoying the married life. I thought this whole episode would be a good obstacle to our honeymoon phase, but if anything, the absence of Anthony's mom has only been a positive for us. We've even gotten closer with Anthony's sister, who was so sorry for believing all the lies that her mother had told her about me before discovering the truth. So I guess in the end, the only real loser was my would-be mother-in-law. Liam, huge problem.
What's up? I'm having to go into overtime here at work, so could you make this quick for me?
I was just told that my dad got into a car accident and is on his way to the hospital right now in the back of an ambulance.
Huh? He was in a car accident.
I'm thinking of heading over there right now.
Right now?
My mom isn't around anymore to deal with things like this, and my brother is overseas with his wife on vacation. I have to be the one to go and see him.
What hospital is your dad being taken to right now?
He's going to the emergency room at Hopkins Hospital.
Huh? Hopkins? That's all the way over in Manchester, right? That's all the way out where your family's house is, right?
Yes. This accident happened close to his house while he was out. I'm sorry, but I am heading over there right now.
Wait. I just wanted to make sure of this, but in 2 days you'll still be around to make it, right?
In 2 days?
I'm talking about Taylor's wedding. My little sister Taylor. Your husband's little sister's wedding is in 2 days.
I understand that she's having a wedding and all, but I'm not sure how my dad is going to be doing by then. At this time, I don't have an answer for you regarding that.
Well then, make sure you do something that'll lead to you making over here on time.
You can say that all you want, but I'm not sure how things will be at that time yet.
Listen, Clara, this is going to be my cute little sister's biggest day. No matter what else is going on, her wedding is your most important event.
I understand that her wedding is important, but I'm not just going to leave my dad if he's still in a terrible state.
I'll not allow you to cancel last minute on my sister.
And I'm telling you that I don't want to be absent from her wedding, but at this point in time, I'm not really sure what to say yet as my answer, considering I'm not even sure what's happened to my dad yet. Once I'm able to see how much damage he sustained in the accident, I will be able to give you an answer. For the time being, just let me be with my dad.
Jeez.
I'm going to go see my dad now. Good morning, Liam. This is about my dad.
Yeah? I'm sure you're going to tell me that you'll be able to make it to my sister's wedding, right?
I'm really sorry to have to say this, but I'm not so sure I can make it.
Huh.
Wait, you have to understand that I really do want to be there.
Your dad? Is he really?
Wait. He's not in that kind of a state right now, but he suffered some serious injuries in that crash. No one else from my family is able to come and be with him right now, so I'll have to stay by his side for the next couple of days to make sure things are fine.
Well, during the wedding, you can at least take that time to come out and be with us.
Please don't say something like that when my dad is in this state. It'll already take me 4 hours to just get to the wedding, and then that'll take half a day before I have to drive another 4 hours back. That's a whole day. I can't be away from my dad for that long when anything could happen to him in that time.
I think I'm telling you to make this wedding your priority.
I'll make sure to apologize to Taylor later on for this, so would you please lay off me?
Jeez. Tell me that this whole thing about your dad being in some accident is just a lie.
What?
You sure you're not just trying to cover up the fact that you're out cheating on me right now?
Why would I be cheating on you?
Well, if you're not, then come to this wedding. Look, you can't make such a big deal out of your dad getting into a simple car accident. What the hell was your dad thinking getting into a crash at this time? Don't tell me that he got into the crash on purpose for you.
You're really starting to take things too far now, Liam.
Do you really think you're in the position to be getting upset with me right now? If you don't come to my sister's wedding, like I've asked you to, then I'm going to divorce you.
All right.
Great. Now make sure you're there on time.
I'm going to prioritize my dad.
Huh?
I'll make sure to apologize to your sister later, so that should be enough.
What the hell is this? Do you have any idea what you'd be doing leaving a seat open like this in my sister's family seating? You really think I'm going to let you get away with doing something so insane?
Your sister happens to have some common sense, so unlike you, she would most likely get mad at you and defend me for not wanting to be at that wedding. Because she knows that my dad comes first when there's an emergency involving him.
Taylor would never get mad at me over that.
Anyway, I am prioritizing my dad. Also, I've already made sure to tell Taylor about how my dad got into an accident and that I won't be able to make it to her wedding.
Excuse me?
She still hasn't replied to me. But I think someone like her will be able to understand me.
What the hell have you done?
I need to start taking care of my dad now as he's getting ready for surgery, and I need to make sure he's prepared for that.
You hold it right there. I will not forgive you for cancelling on my sister. I'll tell you one more time. If you don't show up to that wedding, then I'm divorcing you. If you don't want that happening, then come to this wedding. Understand?
Clara, I'm so sorry for only just seeing your messages to me now. Is your dad going to be all right? Sorry for getting you all worked up about this, Taylor. He's not in life-threatening condition right now, but he has been very badly injured in that crash and is undergoing surgery now. That means, as for your wedding tomorrow, I don't mind you being absent one bit, so please don't be worried about me. You had told me before that right now your brother and his wife are overseas for work, right? That's right. Although my brother's wife will be coming back to the States here pretty soon to help out with my dad after things settle down a little. But since they're on the other side of the world right now, it's going to take her some time to get back here. So you really are the only family that can be with your dad right now then. I want you to stay right where you are beside him and make sure he's okay. Are you really okay with this? Of course. It's your family emergency after all. I understand that my brother is making a huge deal out of all of this right now, but he's the only one who doesn't seem to get it. I'm sure that he'll settle down soon here and come to understand things, but this is always the way he acts around me, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But my parents and I have come to accept that he's just an idiot, so we leave him be until he calms down again. Ah, is that right? And this isn't even his wedding, so he has no right telling you that you have to be here or not. My fiancé and I are both aware that you can't make it, and that should be enough to get him to shut up. Now, you take really good care of your dad. Thank you, Taylor.
Hey, Clara. You still over there with your dad or something?
I am. For the time being, I'm going to have to go back and forth between the hospital and my dad's house. So that's why I've started staying at this house while he's still in the hospital.
Not only did you cancel last minute on my little sister's wedding, but you left me, your husband, here all by myself now.
My husband?
That's right, you are my freaking wife. The only thing you should be prioritizing is what I ask from you. Leave that old and dying man there by himself and come back to me. If you don't follow my command right now, then it's a divorce.
I know that, and that's why I already handed in the divorce papers for us.
What?
Just before the wedding, you told me that if I didn't come, that you would be divorcing me, right? And just yesterday, I got some mail from you that happened to be the divorce paperwork with all your signatures on them. And considering I didn't go to the wedding, I went ahead and handed in those papers for us.
Wait, I was just saying all that in order to get you to come.
But you even went and sent me the paperwork, right? You had signed all the papers and filled everything out for me. Seriously, you thought that you could just use divorce as a way of threatening me into doing everything you asked?
No, that's some...
Answer me right now, Liam. I mean, you always loved talking to me like you were at the top and knew everything and anything, so give me an answer.
Wait, that's... Would it be wrong for us to hand in our marriage papers again?
Excuse me?
Well, look, my little sister only just got married, and a few days later her older brother got divorced, and seems like Taylor is really pissed at me right now.
Ah, you don't have to worry about all that. Everyone hates you now, including Taylor.
Huh?
Liam, from what I've heard, at Taylor's wedding you would not stop talking crap about how bad of a wife I was, right? Taylor had already known about what was going on with me and why I couldn't make it to her wedding. She even went and told all her friends and family about where I was, and they all agreed that it was better I stay with my dad than come all the way out there. But the moment you took a sip of alcohol, you started to shout about how you would divorce me for not listening to you. Things about how much you hated me and wanted to leave me and couldn't stand me anymore. And when people would walk away from you as you continued to go on and on about me, you started to yell louder, trying to get someone to come over and agree with you. I heard that Taylor's wedding wasn't even halfway over with yet before she had to get people to haul you out of there and lock the doors on you.
You know about all that as well?
After that had happened to you out of pure alcoholic rage, you went and sent me those papers, right? Anyway, you and I are divorced now. I'm pretty sure I've said all I've needed to you now, so consider this the moment where our ties are cut, please.
What the hell?
And don't act like you haven't been using some of my savings without asking.
What?
Just the other day, I was planning on paying for my dad's first round of medical bills while at the hospital, and so I had a look at my savings account. I saw on there that over the past couple of months, someone has been going through and taking out small amounts of money from there, adding up to around $30,000 in total. I was shocked to see that it was you doing that.
Where's the evidence that I did it?
When I had a look at where the money was being transferred to, there was your account number in the transaction history. What the hell have you been using my money on?
When I heard that Taylor would be getting married, I thought that I should celebrate, so I went to a strip club.
You went to a strip club?
Let me just tell you right now that I was not cheating on you. There was this one stripper that I was really into, but I was only going there to drink and watch her dance.
Oh, is that right? And then?
So, every time I went there, I was using my credit card to pay. I've been doing this for months, and after a while I went and had a look at my bank account and realised I didn't have enough money to pay the debt off.
And so you took money out of my account?
When you and I went to the bank together, I got a look at your savings account number.
Jesus frickin' Christ, Liam!
This all happened before the divorce, so why do you care? And since you and I were married at the time, your money that you had saved up was the both of ours. So there's no problem with me taking some of it.
Well, that right there is a big misunderstanding on your part.
Huh?
That money that I've saved up from before you and I got married is protected by law and remains for only me to use. It does not ever become yours to use as well just because you and I got married.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. But thankfully I already talked with your parents about all of this and they are paying me back. Along with things like the settlement I'm getting from you and all that. This means I'll be getting $40,000 from your parents, which you'll soon have to pay them.
$40,000?
Remember that it's your parents who will be asking for that from you next, so be ready. But you should mostly be prepared for just how pissed those two will be with you after what I've had to tell them.
No freaking way. They were already furious with me because of what happened at the wedding. $40,000.
Well, now that you're aware of all that, I am leaving. And I mean that as in I am never going to talk to you ever again.
Wait a sec.
What else do you want from me?
I'll help you take care of your dad from now on, so let me marry you again.
No thank you.
You replied to something like that quickly. You can't be serious.
Well, I don't want to be around you anymore.
Can't you at least put a little thought into it or something?
The reason I don't have to put any thought into my answer to you is because I've already thought long and hard about it, and have come to realize how much I hate you now. Even my dad is aware of what all you've been doing, and is so upset with you right now that if he wasn't in a hospital bed, he would be at your doorstep waiting for you to come out so that he could beat the hell out of you.
What?
That's all. Goodbye forever now, you pile of garbage. And that was it between Liam and I. I was only able to be married to Liam for about 1.5 years, but the fact that he cared too much about his sister and would even celebrate her by going to a strip club and all that made it pretty clear to me that he shouldn't have married me at all. As of right now, he's a divorced man and is hated by his little sister that he cared about way too much as a brother. Right now, he's still working at the same company he's always been a part of, but at that wedding, there happened to be a few of his coworkers there by coincidence. They all saw how he acted when he got drunk and watched as he was dragged out of the wedding. Since then, the workplace has been very tough on Liam, as he's surrounded by coworkers that are whispering about what happened with him all the time and giving him the cold shoulder. He's not able to leave his job there, though, as both of his parents are whooping his butt about paying them back that $40,000 they gave me. So until he's finished paying off his debt, he is stuck in that company. He can't even try to get himself fired either, because both his mom and dad told him that if they were to find out he left that job, they would make sure he could never work again. So for the time being, Liam will just have to put up with his new sucky life and hope that all of that cold shoulder and rumors about him don't drive him insane. I'm sure that even right now he's at work, hiding in some corner office as he tries to get anything done, all while listening to the whispers of his coworkers talking about how much of a jerk he is. As for things regarding my dad, he has finished going through all the surgeries he required, and is now just resting at the hospital. He should be out of there in another month or so, where he will then be able to start physical therapy with the support of myself and my sister-in-law. I've completely moved into his house now and found myself a job around here, and plan to stay here for the rest of my life, making sure that my dad is all right and doesn't get into another accident like that again.